It is glowing. Right now, as we speak. The south vent at Kilauea's summit. Glowing. And not just glowing. Flames. Actual open flames visible on the webcam overnight. And the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory has just issued a forecast. Episode 45 of Lava Fountaining, imminent. Window, April 20th to April 25th. That is not weeks away, that is now. And I have to tell you something. Because what is building underneath that crater right now? This is not random. This is a pressure system that has been recharging since April 9th. And when it releases, and it will release, it goes fast, guys. Very fast. Let me give you exactly what we know as of today, April 18th. The Halemaʻumaʻu eruption, Kilauea's ongoing summit eruption, is currently paused. But the word paused here is a little misleading, because paused does not mean quiet. It means the volcano is loading. The USGS confirmed overnight that glow and flames have been visible at the south vent, and faint glow returned at the north vent for the first time in days. 2 vents, both showing signs of life again. Forecast models, based on summit inflation data, suggest that lava fountaining episode 45 will occur sometime between Monday, April 20th and Saturday, April 25th. And I want to be very clear about what the USGS means when they say forecast models. This is not guesswork. This is not someone looking out the window and making a call. These scientists are reading the ground itself. They are watching the summit literally rise, millimeter by millimeter, as magma pushes upward from below. And the ground is rising right now. The rapid return of inflationary tilt and glow from the Halemaʻumaʻu eruptive vents indicates that another lava fountaining episode is likely. Further down in this video, I will explain exactly what that inflation signal means, because it is the single most important number right now, and it is telling us something very specific about when this thing blows. But first, let's talk about what just happened 9 days ago, because episode 44 was no small thing, and it left a mark that people in Hawaii are still dealing with today. Episode 44 happened for 8.5 hours on April 9th, the very day the renowned Merry Monarch Hula Festival began in Hilo. Think about that. Thousands of people celebrating one of Hawaii's most beloved cultural traditions. And Kilauea decided, right then, that was the moment. During that episode, tephra as large as 10 inches was reported in the Volcano Golf Course subdivision, and fine ash and Pelly's hair reached as far away as Hilo. 10-inch chunks of volcanic rock, raining down on a residential neighborhood, on a golf course, on people's cars, their rooftops, their gardens. The eruption plume reached 15,000 feet, about 4,500 meters, above sea level, transported to the north-northeast by southerly winds. 15,000 feet. That's almost 3 miles straight up into the sky. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory increased the alert level from orange watch to red warning at 12:36 local time in response to hazards affecting nearby communities and aviation. Red warning. That is the highest alert level they issue. Hawaiʻi Volcanoes National Park closed temporarily, and a stretch of Highway 11 was shut down, a major highway, closed, because of falling rock from the sky. And when I saw those images, I have to say, I looked at them twice. Golf course covered in volcanic debris, roads blanketed in ash. People being told, stay inside, close your windows, disconnect your water catchment tanks. Volcanic emissions also remain elevated and pose a risk to children or anyone who is pregnant or who may have respiratory issues. And that was episode 44. Episode 45 is coming. Can you do me a favor before we go deeper? Give this video an early like and a hype. Share it with someone who needs to see this. Leave me a comment. It really helps the channel and it costs you nothing. Okay, so now I want to explain something that most people completely miss when they watch these volcano videos, because everyone focuses on the lava, the fountains, the visuals. And yes, the visuals are absolutely mind-blowing. But the real story is what happens before you see a single drop of lava. That's where the science lives. And right now, that's where all the action is. So let me walk you through exactly what is happening inside Kilauea at this moment. The eruption has been paused since April 9th. 9 days. And in those 9 days, the magma system has been quietly doing something extraordinary. It has been refilling. Since the end of Lava Fountaining episode 44 on April 9th, the Wekahuna tilt meter has tracked approximately 12.3 microradians of inflationary tilt. Now, Microradians. That sounds very technical, right? Let me explain this in plain language. A tiltmeter is essentially an extremely precise level, like the one a builder uses on a wall, but so sensitive it can detect the ground tilting by a fraction of a degree. When magma rises and fills the shallow reservoir beneath the summit, it pushes the ground upward. The ground swells, like a balloon being inflated underground, and the tiltmeter reads that swelling in microradians. The instrument recorded 17.6 microradians of deflationary tilt during episode 44 itself, meaning the ground collapsed as the magma drained out to feed the fountains. And now, it's refilling. 12.3 microradians back already. That's not a small number. That is a significant chunk of the pressure returning to the system. And as it approaches the level that triggered episode 44, the ground starts talking, the gases start moving, the vents start glowing, which is exactly what we are seeing right now. Low-level seismic tremor continues during the ongoing eruptive pause, with intermittent bursts associated with gas pistoning cycles in the north and south vents. Gas pistoning. That's another term worth understanding. Imagine a piston in an engine. Up, down, up, down. That's what the lava surface inside the vent is doing. It rises as gas builds up beneath it, then the gas escapes, and the lava surface drops back down. Up, down, every 10 minutes or so right now, according to the USGS, this is the volcano breathing. And when that breathing gets faster and more intense, that's when spattering begins. And when spattering begins, unfountaining is not far behind. Lava spattering and overflows from one or both of the eruptive vents are expected to precede the next lava fountaining episode. That is the warning sign they will watch for. Spattering first. Then, episode 45. Now, I want to talk about something else that makes this eruption genuinely remarkable, and it is something the USGS themselves pointed out this week. What started on December 23, 2024 has become one of the most remarkable volcanic events in recent history. 16 months, 44 episodes of lava fountaining. And it is not slowing down. In fact, looking at the numbers, it has been intensifying. Early episodes in January 2025 produced modest 100 to 160-foot fountains. By mid-2025, heights were exceeding 1,000 feet. Episode 39 on December 24, 2025 set the record at approximately 1,400 feet, visible from towns 30 miles or more away. Let that sink in. 1,400 feet. That is 430 meters. That is taller than the Empire State Building. A column of molten lava, shooting out of the earth. Taller than one of the most famous skyscrapers on the planet. And visible from 30 miles away. Now, episode 44 was smaller, around 800 feet or 240 meters at peak. But here is why that still matters enormously. Because the size of the fountain is not the only hazard. The wind direction is. The wind direction will be the primary factor in determining tephra impacts during episode 45, if any. That is exactly what the USGS says right now about episode 45. Wind. When the south vent flares up and the plume goes north-northeast, as it did during episode 44, communities outside the park get hit. Ash, Pele's hair, chunks of volcanic glass raining down on neighborhoods. When the wind cooperates and pushes everything into the closed park area, minimal community impact. That's the difference between a dramatic volcanic spectacle and a genuine emergency. And nobody, not the USGS, not the Civil Defense Agency, not anyone, can predict exactly where the wind will be blowing when episode 45 begins. That is the honest reality. So let me now go a little deeper. Because a lot of people ask, why does Kilauea erupt like this? In episodes? In bursts? Why not just one continuous flow? And this is actually one of the most fascinating questions in modern volcanology. The answer is in the plumbing. Kilauea has a shallow magma reservoir sitting beneath its summit caldera. Not deep, relatively close to the surface. Magma rises from the mantle, fills that reservoir, and the pressure builds. When the pressure exceeds the strength of the system, it erupts. The reservoir drains into the vents. Fountaining happens. And then, when the reservoir is sufficiently emptied, the fountaining stops. The surface goes quiet, and the filling begins again. It is like a cistern. Fill it up. Open the valve. Drain it. Close the valve. Fill it again. Over and over. That is the cycle we have been watching for 16 months. 44 times. And the USGS has now gotten so good at reading the filling rate, the inflation data, that they can actually forecast the eruption window. The observatory noted that available data indicates episode 45 will occur sometime between Sunday, April 19th and Sunday, April 26th, with data from 2 tilt meters available for their forecasting. 2 tilt meters, reading the ground, telling scientists, it's coming. I find this extraordinary. Because 50 years ago, nobody could do this. You would simply look out the window one morning and the sky would be on fire. Now we have a forecast window, not a precise minute, not an exact hour, but a window. And we are inside that window right now. As I am speaking to you today, Saturday, April 18th, we are 1 day away from the start of that forecast window. Tomorrow. The machine could start tomorrow. And here is something else I want to bring up. Because I did a little research into the history of this specific eruption cycle. And what I found tells you something important about where this is heading. Episode 44 may hold some significance in comparing the ongoing episodic eruption at Kilauea to previous episodic eruptions. While there were 47 episodes at the start of the Pu'u'o eruption, before activity transitioned to effusive lava flows, only 44 of those episodes came from the Pu'u'o vent alone. The Pu'u'o eruption. That ran from 1983 to 2018. 35 years. It started with exactly this kind of episodic fountaining, big bursts, pauses, more bursts, and then, at a certain point, the pattern changed. The eruption shifted from episodic high fountaining to continuous slow effusive flow. Lava just oozing out and flowing for miles. That is what geologists are now watching for. Is Kilauea approaching a similar transition point? We don't know yet. We cannot say that. What we can say is this eruption has now lasted 16 months. It has produced 44 episodes. The system is clearly well established and well supplied with magma. This is not a one-off event that is running out of steam. This is something more sustained. And episode 45 is the next chapter. Now, what do authorities expect to happen next? What are the things being watched between now and April 25th? The USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory is monitoring several things simultaneously. First, the tilt meter readings. Every microradian of additional inflation narrows the window. Second, seismic tremor intensity. When the gas pistoning bursts get more frequent and stronger, spattering is approaching. Third, visual observations from the webcams. The moment spattering is confirmed at either the north or south vent, that is the precursor signal. Usually, periods of sporadic lava spattering and small overflows precede lava fountaining episodes. Conditions may change quickly. Quickly, that is the key word. Because once spattering starts, fountaining can begin within hours. Not days, hours. And the alert level escalates immediately, from advisory yellow, where it sits right now, up to watch orange. And if the fountaining produces a significant ash plume or tephra fallout into communities, straight to warning, red. That is the same red warning that was triggered during episode 44. Highway closures, park closures, civil defense advisories, residents being urged to stay indoors, water catchment systems being disconnected. All of it can happen again within hours of episode 45 beginning, depending on the wind. And I want to leave you with one more thought, because I think it is something genuinely worth sitting with. Each episode of Hale'u'uma'u lava fountaining since December 23rd, 2024 has lasted from 8 hours to 8 days. However, most have only lasted 1 day or less. So here is the reality for anyone on the Big Island right now, or anyone planning to visit. You could wake up on any morning between April 20th and April 25th and see the sky glowing orange over Kilauea. You could check your phone and see the alert. Warning, red, lava fountaining in progress. And it could be over in 8 hours, or it could last for days. Kilauea does not check your schedule. It does not wait for a convenient moment. It inflates, it pressurizes, it releases, and then it starts filling again. That is the machine. That is what this volcano has been doing since December 23rd, 2024. 44 times already. Episode 45 is loading right now. The ground is rising. The vents are glowing. The gas is pistoning. The forecast window opens tomorrow. I'm on the pulse for you guys. If you want to see what episode 44 actually looked like, the fountains, the tephra, the Highway 11 closure, I've put that video right here in the end screen. Watch that, and you'll understand exactly what episode 45 could bring. And if you're new here, subscribe. Because when this thing starts, I'll be here covering it live. Click the notification bell so you don't miss the moment it happens. And if you want to support the channel, the Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description. Don't want to do any brand deals here. You know how I feel about that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, guys. Be aware. Bye-bye.